Harrelson called Big Pharma a drug cartel on Saturday Night Live, because that's what they are. Hey there, my freedom-loving friend. Welcome back to the JP Reacts channel, where we like to call out the lies, hypocrisy, and corruption of tyrants and highlight woke absurdities, along with highlighting the work of other amazing freedom fighters. We're going to get to the short clip of Woody Harrelson calling Big Pharma drug cartels on Saturday Night Live, and he's gotten a lot of backlash from it. It was a really crappy monologue, but this part was like, it's based in truth, and to me, it wasn't really that clever or intelligent. Might have been relevant like 3 years ago, but nonetheless, he was voicing his perspective, and in my opinion, voicing the truthful perspective. But the problem is, he's there in the lion's den of propaganda. Mainstream television, Saturday Night Live, by the way. Which, by the way, I'm on a crusade to cancel comedy, and I would like to applaud Saturday Night Live for being a comedy show that's been dedicated to being free of comedy for the last decade or so. I think they're making a world a better place, not offending anybody, certainly not offending their sponsors. Brought to you by Pfizer. But nonetheless, there's Woody Harrelson delivering his monologue, catching a lot of backlash from it. We'll talk about the backlash in a second. But first, let's get to what he actually said. And just some contrast so you don't have to watch it, because in my opinion, the monologue was kind of slow and just not good. So the context is he's telling a story about being in Central Park and reading the dumbest script that anybody ever gave him. Let's pick up there.
Fire up a hooter from Jeremy.
Shout out Jeremy.
And start reading. Okay, so the movie goes like this. The biggest drug cartels in the world get together and buy up all the media and all the politicians and force all the people in the world to stay locked in their homes, and people can only come out if they take the cartel's drugs and keep taking them over and over.
By the way, can you hear the lack of laughter? I'm sure there were some people in the live audience that were picking up what he was putting down, liked what he was saying, but everybody else in here has a mask on. I'm gonna shut them up.
I threw the script away. I mean, who is gonna believe that crazy idea? Being forced to do drugs? I do that voluntarily all day long. Anyway, it's about that time.
So that's the clip. All the drug cartels get together, buy up all the media, and then force people to take their drugs. And that's it. Not outrageous. It's just literally what happened. The only exaggeration, from a comedic perspective, one of the comedic principles he used was exaggeration. So really the only exaggeration component in his story is he called pharmaceutical companies drug cartels. Problem is, it's not really that much of an exaggeration. But the other problem is people don't want you to call the drug companies what they actually are. They're fucking cartels. They've controlled governments. So good on you, Woody Harrelson, for sharing that perspective on Saturday Night Live. I'm so grateful some people had their feathers ruffled. I mean, but how used to it are where people, they watch mainstream television, they're not told anything that runs contrary to everything else they're told, and therefore what they think. But they hear one thing like, oh my gosh, you are speaking unkindly of pharmaceutical companies. That makes me really uncomfortable. Why? Do you have stock in the companies? No, I literally put my life in their hands and I've obeyed them. So I get really uncomfortable when someone challenges my thinking about them and tells me what they are. They're drug cartels. They're literally criminal organizations. Pfizer, I've said this so many times on this channel, Pfizer has paid the largest criminal fine in U.S. history, $2.3 billion. Now, I don't know the definition of a cartel, but they're probably technically a cartel. They're certainly criminal. Largest criminal fine in U.S. history. Makes them a criminal organization. So the only thing unbelievable about this is that people would be offended that he would get backlash. So, which is beautiful. It's just a beautiful thing. I'm glad it's happening. But let's take a quick look at some of the headlines of the backlash Woody Harrelson's receiving. All right, you see on DuckDuckGo, a simple, by the way, always DuckDuckGo for me. I never use Google because I like to have relatively honest search results rather than like, oh, here's the propaganda that we want you to see. Thank you, Google. Don't need ya. So anyway, Woody Harrelson, SNL, that's all I typed in. New York Post, which is typically, pretty non-propaganda. Woody Harrelson blows up SNL with COVID-19 anti-conspiracy. Woody Harrelson parties following COVID conspiracy SNL monologue. Okay, so he partied afterwards. But like the fact that these outlets are calling out, like he was talking about a conspiracy. Yeah, a conspiracy that's objectively true. The drug companies had the government mandate their thing and want everybody to take it and then take it more. It's not a conspiracy. It's truth. It's from Newsweek. Woody Harrelson's SNL COVID conspiracy monologue divides the internet. Got truth seekers on one side, propaganda believers on the other. I guess it would be divided. Fox News. Woody Harrelson's Saturday Night Live monologue about sparks debate. Woody Harrelson floats conspiracy on SNL. Like he floats it. Like this is no conspiracy. Like how is this even a thing? How is it a thing? Like just this week, we're getting mainstream articles saying like, oh, dude, you'll never believe it. Looks like the virus came from a lab. Yeah, is it spring of 2020? No, it's spring of 2023. All right, well, that's not news. We've known that for 3 years. No, we're just now finding out. So it's beautiful. The gaslighting and everything. Calling Woody Harrelson's thing a conspiracy or anything like that, it is just gaslighting. It's not a conspiracy. So with that said, I applaud Woody Harrelson and I'm grateful Saturday Night Live let him say that. I've heard rumors, I don't know if they're true, but I heard rumors that he basically went rogue and, he was supposed to say one thing, but he went off and said this thing. By the way, I don't know anything about Woody Harrelson. I don't know if he's typically towing the line of the mainstream narrative. I don't know if he's been a free thinker. Obviously not too much of a vocal free thinker, or else there's no way he'd be on Saturday Night Live. So I don't know about that, but this one micro instance of Woody Harrelson, I like it. I appreciate it. I appreciate the narrative being called out. And this is actually in a very delicate way. It wasn't even that hard. But I love the narrative being called out in the very vehicles that propagate the narrative. In this case, it's one of the propaganda shows, Saturday Night Live. I don't know if anybody watches it anymore. But nonetheless, we watched a short clip together. And I'll tell you what's not a conspiracy. Good sleep equals good health. That's why I want to thank the sponsor of today's video, Magnesium Breakthrough by Bioptimizers. Now call me crazy, but I care about people and I want the best for people, including you. That's why I'm very proud to have Magnesium Breakthrough by Bioptimizers as the sponsor of today's video. Instead of being a product that has the expense of using you to boost their profits, Magnesium Breakthrough actually helps people, which I like. It's been in my repertoire for over 3 years now. Why? Because it helps me de-stress myself. I notice if I don't proactively de-stress myself, I become a walking ball of anxiety. And believe it or not, that makes me feel worse. And I don't like it. And you can call me a conspiracy theorist, but I personally believe that feeling happy, peaceful, and having a positive outlook on the world is actually good for me. And Magnesium Breakthrough helps me do it. Because something a lot of people don't know is one key nutrient can help your body effectively shed its stress. And that nutrient is magnesium. But any magnesium won't do the job. Your body needs all 7 potent forms of magnesium to help you de-stress. And that's exactly what Magnesium Breakthrough delivers. That's why I take 2 capsules in the evening and I find I get to sleep easier, I sleep better, and I wake up the next day with better energy and a more peaceful mind. If you'd like to join me in quickly and easily de-stressing yourself, just go to magbreakthrough.com/JPReacts. And while you're there, use a discount code JPReacts10 for 10% off. Thank you, Magnesium Breakthrough.